and of course that would be started off with the national anthem. That'll be done by Johnny Jackson and Randy Rodney Jr. And then we'll have the prayer by Deacon Jeffers Paul.
No. We will also be having the welcome remarks by the Chief Cultural Officer, Mr. Ulson Matthew. We'll be getting remarks from the Minister of Sports, Culture and Community Development, Ms. Rosalind Paul. And it would not be an event if we didn't have performances.
Jinping music, that is the whole essence of culture. We have some Jinping music that will be provided by the Warner Jinping Band and some patriotic dancers. There'll be also the recognition right after the 2022 Special Recognition Awards, and that will be presented by Mr. Lucien Blackmore, who is the Permanent Secretary for Sports, Culture and Community Development. And of course, the awardees for the Special Recognition Awards are?
And the awardees, there will be Special Recognition Awards. The awardees are Ibrahim Brohim for his development of arts and culture.
Juanita Jules, better known as Fluffy, for promotion of creative dance, pageantry, and costume building and design.
Mr. Chad Zamo for his promotion of steel pan music.
Ronnie Magloire for development of traditional dance.
And they will also be given posthumous awards this evening.
That will be Jacinta David for outstanding contribution to the promotion of dance and cultural industries.
And Mr. Earl Etienne for his outstanding contribution to the development of visual art.
And then we'll have a break for performance, and then we get into the big awards for the night, the 2022 Golden Drum Awards, and that will be presented by the Honorable Rosalind Paul, who is the Minister for Sports, Culture and Community Development. And the awardees for this evening are?
The awardees are Vincent Cyril L. of Henderson for his promotion of traditional and contemporary music.
And Delia Coffey Wicks, no stranger to culture, for promotion and preservation of traditional dance, the Creole wear and language.
Mr. Afferton Martin, better known as Affy, for his promotion and preservation of steel pan music.
One of my favorite genres for the promotion and preservation of Calypso music will be presented to the Stardom Calypso tent.
We'll also be presenting awards, the Golden Drum Award, to Vanessa Lisa Winston for her promotion and preservation of traditional crafts.
And Christopher Jefferson Warrington for the promotion and preservation of Jinping music. And the awards will continue throughout the night.
There'll be Mr. Cecil Checker Burnett for his promotion and preservation of Calypso music.
And the big band TK International for promotion of Booyah music.
And our final break in our program with a performance by some Calypsonians of the Stardom Tents.
So it's going to be a splendid night, a night of a kaleidoscope of culture with Jinping music, with Calypso, with Booyah music, the preservation of the culture, pageantry, creative dance, steel pan music. It's going to be a great night tonight.
Yes, appreciation for everyone. No man left behind.
None, absolutely none. And of course, DBS will be carrying that live and throughout. So you can just stay tuned to DBS Radio. And of course, that we will be looking forward to maybe some viewing, maybe on our Facebook page, most likely. So viewers can, look out for that as well. So we are just awaiting a start. We just see the arrival of the Minister for Sports, Culture and Community Development, Honorable Rosalind Paul, just taking her seat. So hopefully we should see a start. And I already see Johnny Jackson on stage to bring a start with the national anthem. And then we get into the prayer. Some musical interlude here by Randy Rodney Jr. on the piano. So it looks like it's going to make a start right here at the Classified nightclub. So we're ready to start for the national anthem done by Janet Jackson and Randy Rodney Jr.
Isle of beauty, Isle of splendor, Isle to all so sweet and fair. All must surely and rare, rivers, valleys, hills and mountains, all these gifts we do extol. Healthy land so like our fountains, giving gem that was the song. Dominica, God hath blessed thee with a clime benign and bright, pastures green and flowers of beauty, filling all with pure delight, and a people strong and healthy, full of godly reverence. May we ever seek to praise thee for these gifts so rich and rare. Come ye forward, sons and daughters of this gem beyond compare. Strive for honor, sons and daughters, do the right, be firm, be fair. Toil with hearts and hands and voices, we must sound the call, in which everyone rejoices. Oh, for each and each for all.
Wow.
Must say,
Can I say what a wow?
all we need today is a little fireworks. A little.
Oh, yes. What a splendid rendition of the
Yes.
national anthem done by Janet Jackson and backed up by Randy Rodney Jr. on piano. It's now time for the prayer by Deacon Jeffers Paul. So we are just waiting. Deacon Jeffers Paul, who
Ladies
will come.
and gentlemen, welcome to the 2022 Golden Drum Awards. Your host for this evening, Mrs. Kiwana Fontaine Wilson.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the 2022 Golden Drum Awards, organized by the National Cultural Council and the Division of Culture. We are live at the beautiful Classified Club. Before we get into our program this evening, we would like to call on Mr. Jeffers Paul, Deacon Jeffers Paul, as we invite some spirituality into our midst this evening.
Good. God is good. And all the time. Good evening, brothers and sisters. The Bible says in Psalm 92 verse 1, it is good to give thanks to the Lord, to make music to your name, O Most High, to proclaim your love in the morning and your truth in the watches of the night. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. God is so good. God is so good. God is so good. He is so good to us. For he has done great things. He has done great things. Bless his holy name. He has done great things. Bless his holy name. Come on and bless the Lord. Bless the Lord. Oh, my soul. Let all that is within me bless his holy name. Come on and bless the Lord. Bless the Lord. Oh, my soul. Let all that is within me bless his holy name. Come on and bless the Lord. Bless the Lord. Oh, my soul. Let all that is within me bless his holy name. And so we ask the Lord's blessings on this evening's proceeding. We pray that all shall be well. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For the kingdom, the power, and the glory are yours, now and forever. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen.
To just welcome the Holy Spirit in our midst this evening as we bring you live coverage of the 2022 Golden Drum Awards right here at the Classified Nightclub.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Thank you. Good evening once again, and it gives me great pleasure to recognize the Honorable Rosalind Paul, Minister for Sports, Culture, and Community Development, Ms. Karine Prevost, Secretary to the Cabinet, Mr. Lucian Blackmore, Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Sports, Culture and Community Development. Members of the National Cultural Council, former Chief Cultural Officer, Mr. Raymond Lawrence. Staff of the Cultural Division, Golden Drum and Special Recognition Awardees, performers, invited guests, the media, viewers and listeners to the 2022 Golden Drum Awards. Welcome. We would like to thank Deacon Paul. Thank you so much to the Cultural Division as well for acknowledging the various forms of spirituality that may present itself, and to you, the public, for respecting those different expressions. And now, to formally kick off our event here this evening, it gives me great pleasure to invite Acting Chief Cultural Officer, Mr. Earlson Matthew, for the opening remarks at our grand event here this evening. Make him feel welcome.
Honorable Rosalind Paul, Minister for Sports, Culture and Community Development, Ms. Karen Prevost, Secretary to the Cabinet, Mr. Lucian Blackmore, Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Sports, Culture and Community Development, members of the National Cultural Council, staff of the Cultural Division, former Chief Cultural Officer, Mr. Raymond Lawrence, Golden Drum and Special Recognition Awardees, performers, invited guests, the media, viewers and listeners. Good evening once again, everyone, and welcome to tonight's Golden Drum Award ceremony at the Classified Nightclub. I know that the venue selection might have raised a few eyebrows initially, but sometimes we have to go out of our respective comfort zones to get to the next level. Thank you. Our vision was to have this year's award show of an international standard, and I feel like tonight we are aspiring to deliver that Academy Award level of production, where I may say the wrong thing and Will Smith might get out of his seat and deal with me accordingly. Yes, that level of production. So next time around, we hope to be back at the Arawak House of Culture, taking with us the positives from tonight as we attempt to make this edition of the Golden Drum Award ceremony as memorable as possible. The Golden Drum Awards ceremony is the culmination of the activities for Emancipation 2022. We witness milestones such as the event commemorating the establishment of the Kalinago territory, Afro-Artistic, where we united with our African, Haitian, and Rastafarian families, and the launch of the Masak Mural project, which saw widespread commitment to the initiative, as well as an all-inclusive drumming and bele circle that not only featured our Kalinago, African, and Rastafarian families, but the general public also got a chance to join in the performances as well, taking us back to the origins of these traditions. So let's have a look at some of the highlights of these events.
We're going to have a drumming, a psalm, and this is going to be a unique one. The Kalinago Cultural Group, the Chief Cultural Officer, and the parliamentary representative for the Salibia constituency are going to come on stage. And the drums are there. Guys, make yourself comfortable in the center, on the side. Kalinago, Kalinago, no pini pufauda se. Kalinago, Kalinago, no pini pufau sote. Nabuye, 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 nabuye.
Ladies and gentlemen, highlights from Emancipation 2022. I am sure that you noticed the presence of 2 government ministers in these videos, walking the walk and flexing their cultural muscle. I must acknowledge the Honorable Rosalind Paul and the Honorable Kozia Frederick for their continued commitment to everything that we do. Now, these videos have collectively amassed over 62,000 views and counting on social media platforms. So it is safe to say that the message is getting out there. Thank you. I would also like to thank the staff of the Cultural Division for their continued support in delivering these milestones. Round of applause for the staff, please. Now, they say that the reward for good work is more work. Even nou jaka prepawe pou adepada spounane sala. Mokadisa kuyol pas mavle person made mwen pes check your court festival lineup. Bon. In closing, I want to once again emphasize the importance of bilateral collaborations within the public sector, with the private sector, and of course the general public, as our missions and objectives are too much alike to continue to ignore or insistently carry out in isolation. So as we continue to promote cultural responsibility, I want to again encourage everybody to play their part in the preservation, promotion, and development of our Dominican culture in whatever positive way that you can, as we, from our end, continue to use our platform to bring our people together. Thank you very much, and enjoy tonight's proceedings.
A round of applause for Mr. Elson Matthew. I'm not hearing you. Thank you so much, Acting Chief Cultural Officer, Mr. Elson Matthew. And now it gives me pleasure to introduce the Minister for Sports, Culture, and Community Development, Honorable Rosalind Paul.
So we have the remarks from Honorable Rosalind Paul, who is the Minister for Sports, Culture, and Community Development, who's also
and
a
make
member
her feel welcome.
of the Peebush Cultural
Minister,
Group as well. And
the Honorable Rosalind Paul.
and you would have noticed that she was a part of the event at Massac.
Good evening. In fact, a blessed night to everyone. Let me recognize the Permanent Secretary, Mr. Lucien Blackmore, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Sports, Culture, and Community Development, Ms. Karen Prevot, Secretary to the Cabinet, Chief Cultural Officer, Mr. Acting, Mr. Elson Matthew, and staff of the Cultural Division, Gold Drum and Special Recognition awardees, performers, invited guests, cultural stalwarts who are here, Mr. Raymond Lawrence, former Chief Cultural Officer, the media, viewers and listeners, again, a good night to everyone. We are indeed excited to be here once again as part of Emancipation Celebration to commemorate those who have given so much to cultural development of our land and continue to do so. Our last Golden Drum Award ceremony was staged during the challenging period of the COVID-19 pandemic. In fact, we are now challenged to match the quality of work produced virtually then. The Virtual Cultural Gala of 2021 was nominated for a Dominica Music Award for Best Virtual Event, and these are the levels we wish to maintain as we re-enter the face-to-face realm. It feels good to be able to be physically interacting once more. There's nothing better than face-to-face interaction. Judging by tonight and the other in-person activities held for Emancipation 2022, like many of you, I remain excited. As we end Emancipation 2022 and get ready for Independence celebration, I urge the general public that in addition to your virtual support on social media platforms, to go out to the various independence events and get the authentic cultural experience. I further encourage you, especially the youth, to participate fully and make this year's celebration extra special. I guarantee you it will not be the same, for as you know, in person is much more exhilarating. It was my pleasure to lead the Bele singing in Massac recently. As you know, culture remains dear to my heart, my passion, being the leader of a cultural group myself, and also having grown up in one of the country's most renowned cultural hubs and nurtured by parents who themselves were cultural icons. But importantly, tonight is about rewarding greatness. There is never a shortage of greatness in Dominica, and so often, greatness through service of humility and generosity. I can well imagine the selection headache, and I'm certain that there is a short list of names for years on end. Tonight's awardees have proven to be role models that generations can aspire to emulate. Individuals and groups who embraced and upheld their cultural responsibilities by proverbial horns, rendering things such as financial gain and personal recognition as secondary. Of course, we do not undervalue the importance of incentives and tangible rewards to prompting others to accept those same responsibilities, but also remind that there is great value of personal growth and development to be derived and new opportunities to explore by being involved, whether voluntary or involuntary. I can safely say that we are on the right path when we each take personal and collective responsibility for our culture and heritage development. It is often said that you give flowers while people are alive. However, this does not mean that such contributions are forgotten upon the departures of our cultural stalwarts to the great beyond. So tonight, we celebrate two cultural icons posthumously, as we did when they were with us in the flesh. And those two persons we know very well, and these people will be recognized tonight. It is timely and extremely fitting to say thank you and well done, my fellow brothers and sisters in the cultural arena. Thank you. I say resoundingly a great thank you and much appreciation for your effort, your continued work, and I must say, sacrifice. Importantly, I see a balance between the traditional and contemporary as reflected in the emancipation activities and the selection of awardees, as well as the respective disciplines. It would be good to continue in the vein of balance, coexistence, and inclusion as we work to promote the development of the creative industries. This is also on display in the spirituality segments of recent activities where I have observed smoke ceremonies, herbal baths, Nyambinge drummers, instrumentalists, singers, and of course, conventional prayer. I was pleased too with the recent Bele Laku in Massac, a wonderful pastime and tradition that was always so spontaneous. This definitely speaks to the coexistence and tolerance of both the traditional and contemporary, and it is a tremendous stepping stone to advancing appreciation for the old, that is our traditional heritage, that we hold so very dear, but to spur creativity and innovation in the cultural industries. So as we celebrate tonight, Let us remain grounded and recognize that there is a lot more work to be done, and the fruits of that labor go way beyond our own existence for generations to inherit and enjoy. Thank you, God bless you, and enjoy tonight's proceedings.
Thank you, Minister Rosalind Paul, Minister for Sports, Culture and Community Development, for your remarks this evening. And at this time, we take a short break for some entertainment. We introduce to you the patriotic dancers from Grand Bay, Hot Bay, with Flirtation. Make them feel welcome.
Segment here with the Warner We know Grand Bay is one of the places in Dominica, it's like a culture hub.
I am proud landing in the dark night.
So we're just waiting for that.
We can now see the dancers entering the stage. Seems like they will be dancing some heel and toe or quadrille.
Okay, so the ladies are in wearing jibs, red, predominantly red jib with their white foulard lined with blue lining, and the guys, with their sashes, red sashes, black pants, and of course among the patriotic dancers is one of those awardees who will be recognized for the Special Recognition Award.
Mr. Ronnie Maglaw.
Yes.
Dancing with them, well known for cultural dances with the Petit Savant Cultural Group. And he has been dancing for years on end since probably even before he finished high school. Ronnie has been a member of the Petit Savant Cultural Group.
And it's one thing I've always said that, I'm fond of is seeing that our young people, very involved in the traditional dances, and they're getting set to start off one of the dances, the quadrille.
They look very lovely.
Yes, patriotic dancers, and accompanied by the Warner Jinping Band. And
some of the members are also members of the Tradibel group, ballet group in Grand Bay. So I see it's a melange of patriotic dancers from the south of Dominica.
So I'm guessing that's how they got the name of patriotic dancers. Yes. All right, so I'm not too familiar with the whole the quadrille. I think there are different segments of straight in the eyes. Would I be able to keep a straight face or maintain a nice smile?
That probably takes a lot of practice.
A lot of focus.
I would definitely laugh.
I'll be laughing too. Yes, but the ladies look lovely though. As always, in their traditional wear, the ladies look lovely. So if you are just tuning in, this is live coverage of the 2022 Golden Drum Awards here at the Classified Nightclub. Not the usual venue for staging such an event, but I can tell you that, a good transformation here at the Classified Nightclub. So we are just awaiting. After this, we will get into the Special Recognition Awards. this evening, and you've heard of the names of Ibrahim Brahim, the sign man, Juanita Jules being part of that as well for her creative dance, pageantry, costume building and design, and as well as Chad Zamor for steel pan music, and the list goes on for a number of people being recognized, special recognition award.
And while looking at them on stage, we can say you can move for bed. They're moving like butter on the stage, gliding away.
Jamasha, have you ever been part of one of the traditional groups?
Quite surprisingly, no. I've always wanted to be a part of a ballet group, specifically Tradibell. And surprisingly, I have never ever been a part of an dancing group. Yes. That's my goal for this year.
Okay, that's one on the bucket list.
Yes,
bucket list. Okay,
definitely.
that's your 2022 bucket list.
Yes.
All right. So, well, I had dancing ballet on my bucket list some time ago, but I ticked that off when DBS hosted their Creole Spectacular show. So I had a chance to do a little bit of ballet.
Keep it a step ahead in the cultural realm right now.
And as the patriotic dancers are just, just acknowledging the audience here tonight at the Classified Nightclub and making their way out. You can just see how, they have just enjoyed this. And it's good, after, coming from COVID-19. And we're still, into this pandemic. But, we were locked down. We were, under some form of and you're hearing the crowd here. And just all about the Mr. Magloire at the end there tonight. But, it looks good for us.
What a way to enter the personal and face-to-face.
Recognition award is Ronnie Magloire. I can't hear you. Did you enjoy that? One of my favorite dances, one of my favorite traditional dances, the flirtation. And we continue with some more entertainment, this time from the Warner Jinping Band, featuring one of tonight's Golden Drum awardees, Mr. Christopher Jefferson Warrington. Make him feel welcome. Make them feel welcome.
I'm happy that tonight they have the awardees performing as well to show off their talents and what they've been doing over the years.
The synopsis as to why they're being awarded for their various segments here. And you heard that Mr. Christopher Warrington is a member of the Warner Jinping Band. And we know the Warner Jinping Band have been around for quite a number of years. And I believe they received an award, Golden Drum, some years ago, I believe so. It is only fitting that, Mr. Christopher is receiving a special recognition award here this evening.
A long list of over the years.
157 either individuals or groups received awards over the years from 1982, and the list goes on. From names we could just Phyllis Shan Alfrey, you have Ophelia Olivache Marie, Lennox Honeychurch, you have Philip Chubby Mark, Lawrence Bromant, and we have had Freddie Nicholas, Ian Jackson, and DBS Radio in 2012 received the Golden Drum Award. So the list goes on, and it's good that our people can be recognized for their efforts and their work in the area of culture. So let's go on stage and check some Jinping music. here at the Classified Nightclub. And as we were mentioning about the number of awardees through the years, we noticed that on the list, quite a number of the Jinping bands have been awarded. And I was subject to correction that the Warner Jinping band receiving, but they have not received. Well, I'm guessing that maybe sometime next year they might just receive an award.
Hopefully, because we see many Jinping bands, like you mentioned. We have the Girodel Jinping band, Portsmouth Jinping band, Woodford Hill Jinping band, Wetika, and so much more on this list that started from since 1982.
And that's to show you that, you know, our culture has been alive for many years, and it will continue for years to come. Even, you know, grands and great-grands and great-great-grands and years to come. You know, that is something that's one of our you know, main resources at our culture, that we maintain it and we keep it alive. The Warner Jinping Band.
It's clear by your applause
Et
that you
puis nous
appreciate
ça
that.
ouais un homme qui a reçu l'honneur Golden Drummer Swear, Monsieur Christopher Jefferson Warrington, qui a joué et puis yo un homme qui a joué Jinping pour longtemps actuellement pour promotion et puis préservation Jinping Music, Monsieur Jefferson Warrington qui a reçu l'honneur Swear et puis joué avec groupe Jinping Horde Warner.
So I guess there's a segment where they present the Special Recognition Awards.
We call on Mr. Lucien Blackmore, Permanent Secretary for the Ministry of Sports, Culture and Community Development, and the 2019 Miss World Duet. That's Mahira John Baptist, and the 2019 Madam World Duet, Dorothy Laura, to hand out the Special Recognition Awards.
Special Recognition Award 2022, presented to Ibrahim Burhim for the development of art and culture. Mr. Ibrahim Burhim is the manager of Signman Limited, which has been in operation since 2001. And from then on has continued to uphold its cultural and social responsibility through his continued sponsorship of events and projects. For many years, you have had longly to these cultural events, helping in the development of these art forms. Your contribution to the arts spans across many disciplines, such as music, dance, pageantry, and art, and goes across both popular and traditional culture. You have been an ardent sponsor of the National Calypso Monarch, and recently you were a key sponsor of the Cadas Calypso Month and Square. Now therefore, the National Cultural Council and Cultural Division present you with the Special Recognition Award for your contribution to the development of art and culture.
Special Recognition Award 2022 presented to Juanita Jules for promotion of creative dance, pageantry, costume making and design. Juanita Jules developed the love for dance, music, pageantry and culture at an early age, starting her dance career at the tender age of 3. Her formal dance training came from being a member of the National School of Dance and the Lucia Lander Dance Group. Juanita, as the Assistant Artistic Director for the Lucia Lander Dance Group, led the group to over 10 national creative dance titles during the independence celebrations. Over the years, she has been a member of the original Flag Wavers Incorporated, the White Kubuli Dance Theatre Company, and currently Miss Jules is the Artistic Director and the lead choreographer of the Sankofa Performing Arts Theatre. Juanita's involvement in pageantry is not limited to her being crowned Miss Teen Dominica in 1997, but she has distinguished herself as a chaperone to many contestants in the Miss Dominica pageant, Miss Teen Dominica, the Princess Show, and Miss and Madame Walk Duet locally. She has also chaperoned contestants in regional competitions like the Miss St. Vincent Carnival Queen pageant, Miss Caribbean Culture, Miss JC's Caribbean Queen, and Mr. GQ pageant. Apart from being a pageant chaperone, Juanita has also built and designed costumes for not only her contestants, but for many contestants in various competitions, both locally and regionally. Juanita is the founder and band leader of the Pure Mass Creative Movement, also known as the Bacchanal Woman Group, bringing a resurgence of this beloved old mass character to our carnival celebrations. The group has participated in the Old Mass Festival, opening in 2019. Now, therefore, the National Cultural Council and the Cultural Division present you with the Special Recognition Award for your contribution to the promotion of creative dance, pageantry, costume building, and design.
Special Recognition Award 2022 presented to Chad Zamor for promotion of steel pan music. Chad Zamor, a resident of Canefield, has always had a keen interest in music and desire to play music himself. In the summer of 2001, on completing high school, he took part in a steel pan workshop organized by his church youth group and tutored by Dominican steel pan player, tutor, builder and tuner Mr. Edward Andre. This workshop and the skills he learned on the triple guitar pan which he played were his springboard into music. He later joined the Genesis Steel Orchestra and from 2003 to 2012 played with that band at numerous local events and steel pan festivals as well as steel pan competitions in Antigua and Barbados. Though much experience was garnered, a desire for formal education in music led Chad to enroll in the Christian musical class as a music theory student and to later become a clarinet student at the later School of Music. His passion for steel pan music never wavered, leading him to take on the role of president of the Dominica Steel Pan Association from 2009 to 2011. During his tenure as president, the association worked closely with the Division of Culture to stage numerous Pan by the Bay festivals and a panorama style competition in 2011 called Pan Savan. Chad has always thought that music should be made more accessible to those who want to learn it, and to play his part has lent his experience and knowledge to the training of young players. He has trained young steel pan players of the Genesis Steel Orchestra, Dominica Cadet Corps, and Maho Steel Band, as well as players from Grand Bay and Soufriere. Presently, Chad teaches the Dominica Institute for the Arts Steel Pan class, plays steel pan with Pan in Harmony Steel Band, and clarinet with the Dominica Government Band. Now therefore, the National Cultural Council and Cultural Division present you with the Special Recognition Award for your contribution in the area of steel pan music.
Special Recognition Award 2022 presented to Ronnie McLaw for the development of traditional dance. Ronnie Denzel McLaw was born and raised in the community of Pishley. He started taking part in traditional cultural activities at the age of 8 and continues to perform as a member of the Pidit Savan Cultural Group. It was with the aid and guidance of Mr. Andrew Daru from the cultural community of Pidit Savan that he was able to learn many cultural dances such as the heel and toe, quadrille, mazouk, polka merengue, lancers and more. He has dedicated over 20 years of his life to traditional dancing and has been affiliated with many cultural groups such as the Pishley Cultural Group, the Tetmon Mountain Cultural Group, the Grand Bay Cultural Group, the Dalis Cultural Group and the Pidit Savan Cultural Group. In 2013, the Pishley Cultural Group established a children's group and Ronnie was engaged as a trainer of that group. On many occasions, Ronnie has danced with several groups for the independence competitions in times when groups were short of members, and was always willing to do so because of his deep love for traditional dance and Dominica's culture. Ronnie has performed at many official government ceremonies as well as cultural and national events. Now, therefore, the National Cultural Council and the Cultural Division present you with the Special Recognition Award for your contribution to the development of traditional dance.
Stubas Award bestowed on Jacinta David. Jacinta David, or Jay as she was affectionately known, was born on December 12, 1959 in the fishing community of Pottersville. Maybe this was destined because just as the waves flow smoothly and mightily onto the shores, Jacinta flowed gracefully and mightily upon whichever stage she performed. She joined the highly acclaimed White Tukubili Dance Theatre Company in the late 1970s and very quickly rose to the ranks of principal dancer. Under the tutelage of the group's artistic director and choreographer Raymond Lawrence, she honed her skills as a dancer and later as a choreographer with outstanding results. Jacinta was also a member of the famed People's Action Theatre. After graduating from the Wesley High School, Jacinta was granted an OAS-sponsored scholarship by the government of Dominica. This allowed her to pursue a course of studies in dance at the Jamaica School of Dance, now the Edna Manley College of Visual and Performing Arts. Her success in this course paved the way for her further professional enhancement, and she went on to earn a Bachelor of Arts degree in dance education from the State University of New York in Brockport, New York. On her return to Dominica, she joined the Movement for Cultural Awareness, where she served in community animation work. She later worked with the Department of Culture with intermittent breaks until her death in 2017. During those periods away from the division, she worked as a dance officer in the British Virgin Islands Department of Education between 1997 and 1999, and from 2010 to 2013, she worked with the National Expert Strategy, housed at Bexia in its Cultural Industries Program. For a brief period, she worked as an officer with the National Drug Prevention Program. Jacinta acted in the position of Chief Cultural Officer for a period within her final stint with the Division of Culture. Among her commendable contributions to the country was the formation of the Performing Arts Workshop, which mission focused on a dance education program that sought to tutor the next generation of dancers. Another major project of that workshop was the staging of the keenly contested Timatador pageant, which gave Dominican children a platform to display their creative talents during our national independence celebrations. The dancer, choreographer, community leader, and cultural activist left this world suddenly and shockingly on November 22nd, 2017. The untimely parting of one so dedicated to Dominica's culture undoubtedly leaves a gaping void which will not easily be filled. Tonight, the National Cultural Council and the Cultural Division present this special posthumous award to her family for her sterling contribution to the promotion of dance and creative industries. Posthumous Award bestowed on Darius Earl Etienne. On February 24, 1957, a visionary and formidable artist was born in the person of Darius Earl Etienne, a master artist who could not only turn paint on canvas into a masterpiece, but mundane and simple materials into the most visually stunning works of art. Earl attended the Massac Government School and the St. Mary's Academy. It was from these early years that he knew that his calling was to the arts. He began his art journey, and there was no turning back from there on. His natural talent and evident creativity made him a sure candidate to be awarded a fellowship by the Organization of American States, OAS, in 1982, to study fine art at the Edna Manley College of Visual and Performing Arts in Jamaica. It was there that he developed his unique technique of smoke effects on canvas, called bullseye or flambeau, a style he developed by chance as it emerged out of an accident with fire, showing his ability to turn simple things into wonderful works of art. In 1986, after graduating from Edna Manley College, he returned to Dominica and took up a role at the Chronicle newspaper as graphic artist and as an art teacher to local schools, including the Dominica Grammar School. He then accepted a post as a cultural officer in the Ministry of Culture till his retirement in 2017. To exhibit his work, Earl opened the Art Asylum in Massac and various other locations through the years, finally situating it at his home in Jimmet. His art touched myriad themes, each with a different feel and perspective. He embodied the spirit of our traditional dance, celebrations, and ancestors, both African and Kalinago, with every piece, and sometimes used his work to give a deeper consciousness on political and environmental themes. During his nearly 50-year career, Earl's work was displayed in many art galleries, exhibitions, and festivals worldwide. He was also curator for many exhibitions both locally and overseas. He was a prolific producer of art and won several art competitions. Moreover, he received numerous awards and accolades for his contribution to art and culture. He was also a carnival costume designer and builder, set designer and builder, graphic and art consultant, and a founding member of various associations related to the preservation of historical and architectural heritage. This giant of an artist left this life on February 23, 2022, leaving behind a legacy of pure artistic mastery, in not only his artworks, but through the many words of wisdom and knowledge that he imparted to all those who had the distinct pleasure of working with him, learning from him, and listening to him. Tonight, the National Cultural Council and the Cultural Division present this special posthumous award to his family for his outstanding contribution to the visual arts.
Congratulations to all the awardees once again. A round of applause for them once more. And of course, thank you to PS for presenting these awardees tonight. Everybody okay? Yes? Not feeling you this evening. What's going on? Good evening, everyone, once again. And we are now getting set for another guest performance, and this time from Guy and Angel. Make them feel welcome. Guy and Angel, another guest performance.
Ponder, no time to ponder. Challenge your heart and it grows stronger. Love your life, and time grows longer. Free and wander, but never squander. Night as deep as the coats of panthers. Stars beam down from celestial anchors. Eyes entranced, midnight dancers. Questions left, need right answers. Look through the hills and hear the birds sing. Unbind your mind. And your whole body win. This is sacred.
Run the track.
struggles there are temporary. My troubled days could never face me. They could never face me though. They could never face me though. The amount of struggles I'm facing today, I'm still alright. Just believe in yourself, cause faith in yourself is a light. Don't dwell on the past, tell yourself that the future will be bright. Yeah, from your heart life you possess the energy of a fighter. Yeah. My struggles there are temporary. My trouble days could never face me. They could never face me though. Yeah. They could never face me though. The amount of struggles on my face and today I'm still alright. I'm still alright. Just believe in yourself, cause faith in yourself is light. Don't dwell on the past, tell yourself that the future will be bright. From your heart life you possess the energy of a fighter. Yeah. My struggles there temporary. troubled days could never face me. They could never face me though. Yeah. They could never face me though.
Thank you, Guy and Angel Thorne. So much energy, so much flexibility in that performance. Did you enjoy that? Well, I did. So at this time, once again, thank you to our guest performers, Guy and Angel Thorne. Now, the moment you've been waiting for is here. And we're getting ready to present the Golden Drum Awards to our awardees here this evening. So at this time, I would like to call on the Minister, the Honorable Minister for Culture, Miss Honorable Rosalind Paul, to present the awardees with the Golden Drum Award for tonight.
In 1982, the legacy began with Rosemary Cruz-Latig, Phyllis Shand-Alfrey, and Vernice St. Luce being the first recipients of Dominica's highest cultural award, the Golden Drum Award. The Golden Drum Award ceremony has become one of the premier events in the cultural calendar, and from 1982 onwards has awarded over 157 cultural and creative industry practitioners in various disciplines such as craft, media and broadcast, literature, music, dance, cuisine, fashion, and more. The Golden Drum Award is presented to individuals, groups, or institutions which have made impactful contribution to arts and culture spanning more than 20 years and have made notable successes to culture in Dominica. Tonight, Vincent Cyril Henderson, Delia Coffee Weeks, Atherton Marte, Stardom Calypso Tent, Vanessa Lissa Winston, Christopher Jefferson Warrington, Cecil Checker Burnett, and TK International join the ranks of Golden Drum awardees, and your names shall be forever etched in the Cultural Hall of Fame.
Golden Drum Award presented to Mr. Vincent Cyril Henderson for the promotion and preservation of traditional and contemporary music. Whereas it is considered that you, Vincent Cyril Henderson, have dedicated your efforts to serving Dominica in the field of traditional and contemporary music for over 40 years. Whereas you have contributed to the promotion of traditional music in Dominica through your participation during the independence celebrations as a competitor and part of the musical accompaniment for many groups and individuals throughout the years. And whereas you have given your time as a trainer for school and community groups around the island in the arts of traditional drumming and ballet. Whereas you not only play the traditional drum, but you have also developed the skill of traditional hand drum making, providing drums for many groups and schools across Dominica. And whereas your contribution to Dominica's culture is not only limited to the traditional, but you have made your name as a competitor in many song competitions, such as the DBS Song Contest, Dubfesta Song Contest, Calypso and Calypso competitions, just to name a few. Whereas your participation in these competitions is a testament to your skill as not only a singer, but also a songwriter and composer, as you have penned all your competition songs, and also lend your talent to groups and individuals who request your songs. Most notable is the Belle song Damn, made popular by the Tradibel Cultural Group. And whereas you have been a member of both the Tradibel Cultural Group and the Midnight Movers Band as a drummer and a guitarist, respectively. Now, therefore, the National Cultural Council and Cultural Division present you with the Golden Drum Award for your outstanding work in the area of traditional and contemporary music.
Golden Drum Award presented to Mrs. Delia Coffee Wicks for the promotion and preservation of traditional dance, the Creole wear and language. Whereas it is considered that you, Delia Coffee Wicks, have contributed significantly to Dominica's culture in various art forms for over 25 years. Whereas, whenever you are called upon, you are always willing to fulfill your cultural duty and responsibility, whether as a trainer, judge or performer, without any form of compensation necessary. And whereas you are a founding member of the Rosa Cultural Group, where you performed with the group in many independence competitions, cultural and social events, both locally and overseas in St. Martin, St. Lucia, New York, Martinique, and Guadeloupe. Whereas, as a member of the Rosa Cultural Group, you were described as a prolific dancer of the ballet and Jinping dances. Whereas, you have been an actress with the La Cour des Arts de la Dominique Inc., People's Action Theatre, the New Dimension Theatre, and worked with Alwyn Bully for plays such as Ruler of Hyrule. Apart from stage plays as an actress, you played roles in the 1991 movie adaptation of The Orchid House, based on the book by Dominican author Jane Reeves, the short film Pretending Reality, and Osei and the Masqueraders. And whereas you have won several independence short story and poetry competitions in both the English and the Creole categories, and you have published the book Tea L'Histoire Dominique, a compilation of folk tales in English and Creole, and you are also credited as an author for Peter Noir, first anthology of poems and short stories, The Flying Crackle. Whereas your love for our Creole culture has seen you as an advocate for the proper display and wearing of our national wear, the Wab Duet. And for several years, you have developed the art of making the Wab Duet and our Creole headpieces, and on several occasions hosted trainings all over the island on these traditions. And whereas you have been a key member of the Comité pour Études Creole, CEC, for several years, and currently form part of a committee for the publication of the Creole Dictionary. Now, therefore, the National Cultural Council and the Cultural Division present you with the Golden Drum Award for your outstanding work in the area of traditional dance, the Creole wear and language.
Golden Drum pour promotion et puis préservation danse, jupe et puis lagage Dominique.
And I must say she looks very lovely in her warp duet here.
Lovely.
Always lovely.
Donned in white today, white with a red jupe.
For the promotion and preservation of steel pan music.
And the red and yellow.
Whereas it is considered that you, Atherton Marte, have contributed to the promotion and preservation of steel pan music for over 60. Whereas from 1959, you have been a member of several steel pan bands, namely the Kings of Rhythm, Cisco, Harmony Cats, Chocolate County, along with steel pan legends Wilfred Pancho John Baptist and Edward Eddie Andre, and Vauxhall Harmony, serving as the group's musical director. And whereas you introduced amplification of pans to Panelec and Phase 5 and played with them on occasion. Whereas you were also the president of the National Pan Association, and it was under your leadership that you wrote the constitution for the association, which included pan education programs in schools. Whereas, as president of the Steel Pan Association, you were instrumental in sourcing steel pans for schools and community groups, and also served as a steel pan tutor to the groups in the pan education program. Whereas, over the years, you have played in a top-notch pan and keyboard duo ensemble with your brother Julie, providing musical entertainment of the highest quality in hotels as well as public and private functions. Now, therefore, the National Cultural Council and Cultural Division presents you with the Golden Drum Award for your outstanding work in the area of steel pan music.
Mr. Happy Martin, Amazon Martin, the Golden Drum Award for his promotion and preservation of steel pan music in Dominica.
And he is receiving his award from the Honorable Minister of Culture, Rosalind Paul. And steel pan is one of those music instruments in Dominica. I've always said I wouldn't mind learning to play at least one or two notes in the steel pan.
And there's no other song like the steel pan song.
Golden Drum Award presented to Stardom Calypso Tent for the promotion and preservation of Calypso music. Whereas it is considered that Stardom Calypso Tent is the longest operating Calypso tent in Dominica, bringing Calypso delight to patrons for over 40 years. Whereas the stage of Stardom Tent has become a training ground for the nurturing and development of young Calypsonians. And whereas the Stardom Calypso Tent can boast of having produced several Calypso monarchs, Independence Calypso kings, and road march winners. Whereas you have taken Dominica's Calypso to St. Lucia, New York, and Toronto, exposing many show patrons to our rich Calypso art form. Whereas the Stardom Monarch of the Tent and the Lagos Street Jam have become staples during the Carnival Week. Now, therefore, the National Cultural Council and the Cultural Division present you with the Golden Drum Award for your outstanding work in the area of Calypso music.
And receiving that award for the Stardom Calypso Tent is Norman Later and Calypsonian Bassi. And of course, it's important to note that Norman Later received a Golden Drum Award in 1993, and Norman Later being part of the Swinging Stars Band, and the Swinging Stars Band is the house band for the Stardom Tent. They received a Golden Drum Award in 1999.
Golden Drum Award presented to Miss Vanessa Lissa Winston for the promotion and preservation of traditional crafts. Whereas it is considered that you, Vanessa Lissa Winston, have contributed to the development and preservation of Dominica's traditional craft industry for over 20 years. Whereas from your introduction to leathercraft and jewelry, you have excelled in that field through your determination to hone your craft and accepted opportunities for development through participating in the 2009 DYBT Entrepreneurship Development Program, Women in Innovation Network of the Caribbean in Antigua, OAS Talent and Innovation 6 Summit in Colombia, and the Jewelry Making Scholarship Program in China. And whereas you are a founding member of the Dominica Arts and Craft Producers Association, serving as interim vice president in 2009, and you have held the post of president of the association from 2013. As president, you have fostered relationships with regional and international artisanal organizations to facilitate exhibitions and events on behalf of the organization. Whereas you have spearheaded initiatives such as the European Union-funded Green Wave project for the making of reusable sanitary napkins and the Jeff Small Grant project focused on the cultivation and the propagation of local plants used for craft making. And whereas you have represented your country at various trade shows, festivals and exhibitions, both regionally and internationally, such as Carifesta in Barbados and Trinidad, the Commonwealth Exchange Fashion Initiative at Buckingham Palace in 2017, and the Carib Expo in St. Lucia, just to name a few. Whereas you have never shied away from passing on the knowledge of your skills in your continued work with youth, adults, and women. You have been a mentor for the DYBT Entrepreneurship Development Program, tutor at the Cultural Division Summer Program, Operation Youthquake, and co-counselor with the Lifeline Ministries. Whereas you have continually pushed for the traditional craft industry despite personal and financial challenges, and have risen to the occasion many times over for the continued preservation of traditional crafts. Now, therefore, the National Cultural Council and Cultural Division presents you with the Golden Drum Award for your outstanding work in the area of traditional crafts.
Lisa Winston for the promotion and preservation of traditional crafts. And sometimes it's, we never know too much as to, people's contribution to different things. And you've seen Vanessa around and never know her contribution for all these years.
Mr. Christopher Jefferson Warrington for the promotion and preservation of Jinping music. Whereas it is considered that you, Christopher Warrington, have been for over 40 years contributed admirably to the preservation of Dominica's traditional culture, in particular Jinping music. Whereas you have been a member of the Warner Jinping Band for the last 46 years and currently serve as the leader of the band in which you were instrumental in the group recording 2 albums of Jinping music. And whereas with the Warner Jinping Band, you have contributed to the preservation of Jinping music through a consistent provision of live Jinping music at various functions and events. And you delight both locals and visitors at hotels and other business establishments on Journée Creole for many years. Whereas you can be credited as being a multi-talented and skilled musician, and you not only play all the instruments required for the Jinping band, but you also play the guitar and mouth organ. Whereas your versatility as a musician has led you to contribute to culture through your involvement in not only the Warner Jinping Band, but also various cultural groups on the Western District or groups who shut up a musician at cultural events throughout the years, as well as you continue to serve as the guitarist for the Warner Chapel Choir. And whereas in 2012 you were part of the formation of the Warner Cultural Group and continue to provide musical accompaniment for the group's participation in cultural and social events. Now, therefore, the National Cultural Council and the Cultural Division present you with the Golden Drum Award for your outstanding work in the area of Jinping music.
Now see Mr. Christopher Jefferson Warrington receiving his Golden Drum Award for the promotion and preservation of Jinping music. Mr. Warrington jouait à avec groupe Jinping Wana Eh bien, bon job il fait. Au soir, paiement ça, il continue. Jouer musique, gitan, il partage jouer encore.
Golden Drum Award presented to Cecil Checker Burnett for the promotion and preservation of calypso music. Whereas it is considered that you, Cecil Checker Burnett, have contributed to the calypso art form unceasingly for the past 41 years with sweet and soulful calypso renditions. And whereas you have competed in both levels of calypso, starting in 1981 in the Junior Calypso Monarch and quickly elevating to the senior competition in 1982, making the semifinals on your first attempt. Whereas from 1982 to present, you have competed every year in the Calypso Monarch competition, making it to the finals 15 times in your career and placing third runner-up on 4 occasions. Whereas you have been a long-standing member of the Stardom Calypso tent, delighting Calypso patrons every carnival season. And whereas you were crowned Stardom King of the Tent in 2010. Whereas in 2011, you were recognized for your contribution to calypso music by the National Cultural Council and the Division of Culture with the Special Recognition Award. Now, therefore, the National Cultural Council and Cultural Division present you with the Golden Drum Award for your outstanding work in the area of calypso music.
And there's no calypso season without a checker. And of course, he's made it to the finals, semi-finals. He's been around for quite some time, quite my age, as a matter of fact. So, you know, he's made his contribution to the calypso music here in Dominica, and we congratulate him here tonight for his efforts, for his work, for his contribution to calypso music.
Golden Drum Award presented to TK International for the promotion of bouillon music. Whereas it is considered that you, TK International, have promoted bouillon music for over 20 years and have captivated crowds with your infectious rhythms and performances. Whereas you have produced 9 full-length studio albums and have extensive catalogue of more than 100 songs and chants which have become popular locally and regionally. And whereas you have traveled extensively to perform at festivals such as Atiers Feste Hoogstraten in Belgium and Ted the Blues Festival in Marigaland. Whereas over the years, you have been a staple at Carnival and Caribbean festivals around the globe, including Houston Carifesta, Toronto's Caribana, Notting Hill Carnival in the UK, Miami Carnival, New York's West Indian Day celebrations, carnivals in Antigua, St. Thomas, St. Croix, St. Martin, and more. Whereas, from 2005 to present, the band has played at all editions of the World Creole Music Festival and has only missed one edition of the Flow Creole in the Park. And whereas the band has won awards to include Band of the Year 2019, Bouillon Road Match 2019, and the 2022 Dominica Music Award for Best Band. Now, therefore, the National Cultural Council and the Cultural Division present you with the Golden Drum Award for your outstanding work in the promotion of bouillon music.
TK International, a group of young boys who started in the Valley, the Loda, and has grown from compa music to the preservation of bouillon music here in Dominica, presently out of Ireland, at this time representing Dominica and playing at many of the carnivals regionally and many of the other events regionally and internationally as well.
The award was received by their road manager, Mr. James Rodney, and we know that without TK there is no jam. There's no triple K, it's not a jam.
Ladies and gentlemen,
so we congratulate
once again to
all the awardees
and
this evening for the Special Recognition Award and the Golden Drum Awards as well. We we urge them to continue to do what they're doing. And to those of you who have not yet, I say yet, because you have to be happy for your brothers and sisters be receiving awards here. But your time will come, as your turn will come. Hopefully one day just continue doing what you're doing and doing it with a passion.
And we heard the Minister of Culture say that most likely there's a long list of others just waiting, and there's a long standby list for this award. And we have already seen 154 from since 1982, and I'm sure they probably have 154 more stored somewhere.
All right, so it comes to an end with a grand finale here tonight at the Classified Nightclub. You hear the music of Derek Hunter St. Rose, and they've been accompanied by members of the Kalinago or Carifuna cultural group. And then I can see some traditional costumes coming out as well. Suswal Sui, the big bottom lady. So it's going to be a night ending with a grand finale because culture won tonight. Culture did win tonight.
And let us go over our awardees tonight. Awardees, and that was Mr. Ibrahim Brohim for his development of arts and culture.
Miss Juanita Jules for the promotion of creative dance, pageantry, and costume building and design.
Special awardee Mr. Chad Zamo for his promotion of steel pan music.
Ronnie Maglow for development of traditional dance.
And they also gave posthumous awards tonight, which went to Jacinta David for her outstanding contribution to the promotion of dance and cultural industries.
And Earl Etienne for the outstanding contribution to the development of visual arts.
And the people of the hour, 8 people receiving the 2022 Golden Drum Award. That was
Vincent Cyril L. Henderson for the promotion of traditional and contemporary music.
Delia Coffee Wicks for her promotion and preservation of traditional dance, the Creole wear and language.
Atherton Martin for promotion and preservation of steel pan music.
Stardom Calypso 10 for their promotion and preservation of calypso music.
Vanessa Lisa Winston for promotion and preservation of traditional craft.
Christopher Jefferson Warrington for his promotion and preservation of Jinping music.
And of course, Calypso also took the spotlight with the Cecil Checker Burnett promotion on the preservation of Calypso music.
And lastly, TK International for their promotion of bouillon music in Dominica.
So at this time, you're saying a grand finale with traditional and contemporary costumes being displayed here. So I can do say that, you know, culture is well and alive here in Dominica. Of course, I can't wait for independence.
Oh, I definitely can.
And then there is carnival. So a lot will be happening, as like I mentioned earlier on. We're coming from, you know, just shaking off our shirts and everything and getting into out of this pandemic slowly but surely.
And now we can see Sour,
the road match
king on stage, about to perform his song Stress Free, which won the road match. Sour even has backup dancers today.
Yes, he does. The life of the party is sour.
We can see right now the stage is a party. We have people with fisher poles. We have a man with a conch shell.
Yes.
Sour is a fisherman at Haskimar.
Yes, he is.
Yes.
From Lotball, Portersville.
I enjoy my life. I enjoy my life. I enjoy my life. Stress free. Stress free. Nobody bother me. Leave me alone. Stress free. Stress free. I ain't no bother ain't nobody. Hallelujah. 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 Jesus. say aloud, drink rum, make the hit songs, all of the love. I say aloud, I enjoy my life, I enjoy my life, I enjoy my life. Whoa, I enjoy my life, I enjoy my life, I enjoy my life. You want my gun, abduction, sour in tongue. I like Django, Fernando, Santo, and Desperado in tongue. So I am going, no way, that handsome fellow is here to stay, to tell them his peace and the frustrations, the lack of tempo. Sour. So fanatics and all them critics, I control those. I enjoy my life, I enjoy my life, I enjoy my life. I enjoy my life, I enjoy my life, I enjoy my life. Trust me, nobody bother me. Leave me alone. Trust me, I don't bother nobody. Hallelujah, drink rum, make fun, hallelujah, and say aloud. Drink rum, make hit songs, hallelujah, and say aloud. I enjoy my life, I enjoy my life, I enjoy my life. Wait, I enjoy my life, I enjoy my life. I enjoy my life. Someone to know what I do with my money. But what they do with, what they say is a long story. Drink rum, make me happy. Sour, single like me. What life to live, lot of love to give. Tomorrow I may never see. What life to live, lot of love to give. Tomorrow I may never see. I enjoy my life, I enjoy my life, I live my life. I enjoy my life, I enjoy my life, I live my life. Stress free, nobody bother me. Leave me alone. Stress free, I don't bother nobody. Hallelujah, drink rum, make fun, hallelujah, and say aloud. Drink rum, make songs, hallelujah, and say aloud. I enjoy my life, I enjoy my life, I enjoy my life. I enjoy my life, I live my life, I enjoy my life. Thank you.
Thank you, Sawa. And now we introduce to you the grand finale. We call on one of our Golden Drum awardees, and that is Checker. Make him feel welcome. Checker.
Thank you very much. What is all we need? Give it. Last night I had a dream. The
But what this world needs to survive, listen carefully. The vision said to me, go tell everybody. You can look to the east and to the west, still you won't find the treasure chest, you won't find it. No, you won't find it. Look to the north, look to the south, we just playing cat and mouse, we won't find it. No, you won't find it. What we need is a reunion of heart and soul. Be good by your will. Put away all selfishness and hate before it's too late. To the bottom lock your gates, 'cause all we need is what we need is love. Then you and me will live in harmony, as all it is. Of it can make the enemies. No, no. Be the day, day. Higher. Be the day. Give me. Hey, boom, mommy, boom, boom. There is no right, or there is no wrong. Once you have the best lawyer, you can get away with murder. We get a big scare from the pandemic, but still some just can't get it. More people have is more they want, while some others on this run, they can't find it. No, they can't find it. Sick and dying, they still won't change. Searching for personal things, they can't find it. No, they can't find it. Democracy, now democracy. Conspiracy after conspiracy. Empathy has gone out through the door. It's sad but true. We in 2022. People, all we need is what we need is love. Then you and me will live in harmony and politics. Of hate can make the enemies. No, no. Be the day, be the day. Be the day, be the day. Last night I had a dream, but what this world needs to survive, listen carefully. The vision said to me, everybody. You can look to the east and to the west, see you won't find this treasure chest, you won't find it. No, you won't find it. Look to the north, look to the south, we just playing cat and mouse, we won't find it. We won't find it. What we need is a reunion, but heart and soul, be human again. Put away all selfishness and hate before it's too late. To the bottom lock your gates, 'cause all we need is what we need is love. Then you and me will live in harmony and politics. Of it will make the enemies. No, no. Yes, you and me will live in harmony and politics. Of it can make the enemies. No, no. Yes, you and me will live in harmony and politics. Of it can make the enemies. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Be the day.
What a way to bring down the curtains on tonight's Golden Drum Awards for 2022 with the Golden Drum awardees Checker with some of our display of our traditional
right. Did you enjoy
costumes
that?
and
The grand
here
finale?
in Dominica.
Are you ready to go
So
home?
hats off to the National Cultural Council and the Cultural Division for a great and a successful Golden Drum this year.
Yes. What a way to celebrate
Sorry to
our
say,
cultural
but that's
stalwarts. Such
But
a
we
lovely
can
celebration
go, you know,
tonight.
there will
On
be
go and celebrate your
drinks,
kilty or swear.
and of course
And
there'll
it
be a
brings down the
photo op.
curtains on the emancipation celebrations for 2022 as well. So hopefully next year, God willing, we'll be looking forward to more of that. But onwards, as the acting cultural chief, the chief cultural officer mentioned earlier, the reward for good work is more work.
And they are ready to do more work to make culture in Dominica a big thing.
And so it continues with the preparations for independence celebrations. So you'll be hearing pretty soon the launch of all the calendar events for 2022. And we're looking forward to that this year. Of course, DBS will be on top of everything throughout, the coverage of those events here in Dominica. And to bring it to our listeners and our viewers as well. We say thank you to our viewers as well for joining us on this grand occasion. And again, we congratulate every one of the awardees here this evening.
Yes, definitely. And we have our host tonight was Kewana Fountain Wilson, the program host for Experience Square at DBS and head of the language department. She is currently giving the vote of thanks to all those who made this grand event possible.
Yes, so that's it for us here. We know it has been a grand event, and it's going to be a night of maybe just continued with socializing with some of the people who have received the awards here tonight. So we thank you for viewing and thank you for listening. And Jamasha, it was a pleasure working with you tonight. I'm looking forward to maybe another event together.
Thank you, definitely. Maybe we'll have something in the independence season.
Most likely. Well, you'll take the floor in this one.
Well, this was definitely a lovely experience for my first time doing something like this, an outdoor broadcast. And I want to thank everyone who was listening to us tonight. Thank you for tuning in. And we are here at the Golden Drum Awards. One ceremony for Kilty. Please hold on there, Kilty. Or swear. A classified nightclub. A Kasi Comfort. Whitmun we si vwe Golden Drum. Et puis Katmun we si vwe l'on there pour recognition spéciale or swear.
So, like my colleague here said it was a great night. And we thank you, our listeners. We thank our viewers. We thank Curtis Matthew for starting off the broadcast. Yes. We thank our tech on duty. That's Dean Thomas. And my name is Kimara Ito. That's it for us at Classified Nightclub. We do wish everyone a wonderful evening. And once again, congratulations to all the awardees. Good night.
Yes, my name is Jamasha Mello. Good night.
Alright. Make it quick. Okay. Wow. I like it. Let me know. What's in the front of our culture is sweet. If it's not for that, you'll never have to be on reading. What's in the front of our culture is sweet. Only what we want that is to be with your sharing. Yes, we have the golden touch. Music that they love so much. Don't forget the foundation. We shall not pass our mission. Why, boy, 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 in the